Hello everyone, it's Mike Levin on December 31st. It's going to be New Year's tonight, and I'm going to try and get one video in on my half work day here today. And this is where I left off on this system, and I've worked a lot on other systems recently, so I'm going to do a git pull to get the code updated locally. Now I'm going to get the server running again. And now I'm going to go over to here, which was sort of the before, and I'm going to do a refresh to see, oh, that's 8080. We want localhost 8888. And there we go. Pipulate is running. And now we're going to test to do if we can do a login, a Google-style login, because the work I did changed the landing page right here, and it still came back to localhost 8888. So all is good in the world. The work I did to make Pipulate work on the cloud is working. I have an instance of this on Rackspace now, so it can work on registered domain names, which works well with OAuth 2. So now it supports localhost or registered domain names. What it doesn't support is the local.hostname or the hostname.local protocol that I used to use in that tiny office for the Raspberry Pi. But I'm going to try and get that back by adding a traditional login with username and password here for people who are running on dedicated hosting hardware, but which doesn't have a registered domain resolving to it. So anyway, that's another story. What I want to do today is in the Pipulate code, vim pipulate, there are cases. Actually, I want vim functions. There are going to be many cases where the value that we're looking for is buried somewhere in a JSON object. And you have to do tricks like, reach into this first key, and then the second key, and this third key, and this fourth key, when the truth is there's only one place where the word count actually appears in the entire JSON object. So if there is a way to walk those directories and grab right for whatever value came after a key named count, no matter how it was buried in the JSON object, that would be of great use, because you wouldn't have to go through and figure this out. And that way you would have wrapper functions that would make all your other functions almost look identical, and then instead of a whole bunch of functions, you could just turn it into a list. Well, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. In doing my research, I pasted into MikeLevinSEO.com my latest entry for the day, which is this piece of code I found, which is to walk objects, which, as usual, came off of a Stack Overflow inquiry. Loop through all nested directory values. Can you do it? And of the solutions I found here, I like the one that actually was only rated 4. There's a 9 and a 10 there, but I like this solution, and it is perfectly suited now for using in the Python Interactive Interpreter. So let's see how we're going to do this. I'm going to get one object here in my browser, which will be this guy here, because this is the ugliest nested object. Yeah, that's right. That's the one that has all the ugly nesting. I paste that there, and I'll put in my domain, http://MikeLevin, dot before the IN. And it's a very simple thing. It's just count. What was the complex one? Result metadata global. Oh, that's tweets. Yep, did the wrong one. What I want is this here. An RPC. Oh, that's a post method. I don't think that's gonna work. But I do want one of these complex nested things. So let's see what this depends on. I'll copy that whole thing, Oh, it's going to require the requests object. So, let's just do that in another tab here. Python import requests. Paste to have my function. An object equals PLUSSES. Again, oops, normal parenthesis, HTTP //MikeLev.in, close quote, close parenthesis, an object. Oh, yeah, okay, we don't want to return everything. I need to put that function back in. But instead of returning all that stuff, we are just returning the object itself. Now, yeah, okay, I will find it. Is this really easier than retyping? There it is. And there is our messy object. But now we can use that messy object in other functions. First of all, I think I'm going to pick it up here and paste it somewhere so that I can have it again later. You know, Notepad is on the Windows machine, and that's always a good place for that sort of stuff. There's nothing quite like that here. Let's see what I revealed about myself. Anything incriminating? No, all that's good stuff. Okay, but what I want is text edit. And new document, paste. So now I have that sitting around for in case I need it later. That could be useful. So I don't have to go through the rigmarole of executing the function again. But I do have an object sitting here. So I'll make another object equals an object dot copy, C-O-P-Y, open close parenthesis. Now there's two of them in memory. That's actually important because if I just made one equal to the other, it would be a direct reference, and editing one would edit the other. Python, long story. It's the best way to do it, but it means when you actually want to copy, you got to do dot copy. You got to invoke the dot copy method of the object. Okay, so where are we now? Where we are now is that I want that function that I found on the web page. That's over here. And it's this guy here. Print my D. No, my print. Okay, well, whatever. But you will have a function here that doesn't require any imports. The things that attracted me to this is its nice simplicity. But now I can do my print an object. And there you have it. Count, colon something, that long thing, kind. And this is very nice. So I can actually paste this code in there and start manipulating it in my main programming code. And let's see. Yeah, that's what we want to do. I'll put it in functions for now. It doesn't technically best belong in here, but it's where the other functions are. Set paste, insert, paste, and I don't like the indent style. There's probably some really clever Vim way of doing this, but I'm going to make it adhere to my indent style. Let's see, I'll try one clever way. Colon, %s, which is replace, slash 1, 2, 3, 4 with 1, 2. YCC, not an editor command. %s is replace. Trailing characters. Well, anyway, I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so one of the first things to note is that when I save this, the server is going to stop and restart. And the fact that it did restart means I did not actually introduce syntax error in the code. And so that's a good thing. Now, my print is not a good name for this. We want it to be like, you know, walk dict. You're walking a dictionary. And walk dict gets fed an object, obj, and a key. And if, as it iterates through, let's see what it prints. It's over here. If the thing before the colon equals the word that was fed in, then you've got a match. And so the thing before the colon is K. So if K equals key, then we return what was being held in the V, key value, and that returns it. That's like doing a break or an exit to escape out of the loop. We don't need this stuff printed anymore. I'll keep that edited in. But this now is going to just return, let's see, oh yeah, obj. It was being fed D, so this has to be obj. Is there any other occurrences of D? I don't think so. Stack stack pop. Yeah, okay, that's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. This actually is probably the function we need. And now, instead of, okay, syntax error, if key equals, biggest single mistake in Python. A single equals instead of a double equals for comparison operators. Save. Get it started again. Okay. Now, instead of returning a dict, I will keep that edited in there, but I'll yank and I'll paste, and then I'll comment out the first one. And I am going to return, let's see, I want that function name to show, GG. I think I'll move tweets a little lower so that I can show everything at once. So instead of returning a dict, I'm going to return walk dict. The a dict, in this case, the object is a dict, and the key that we're looking for is count. And that should do it. Go over here. I bring up a new tab. I go to my Google Drive. And I go into the spreadsheet that I've been doing a lot of this testing with. And now I'll blank all this stuff just to make it easy to look at again. And we modified pluses. So I should be able to put one plus in there. Bring back my bookmarks. And I have two pipulates here. One is for when it's running off of a certain domain that I just launched, and another when it's localhost. This should be the one that I want. First of all, it should come up. That's good. It's being served from localhost, as you can see here. Second of all, I want to make sure I am logged in. And now I hit pipulate, and if the world is good, that question mark gets replaced. I didn't do much of a before and after, but there you have it. When you have a situation like that, what it's good to do sometimes is break the code to make sure that what you're doing here is actually what's happening. So I'll yank and paste. I'll edit that top one out, and then here I will return foo. So if foo comes back the next time I invoke pluses, I will know that my walk_dict function is working. Oh, where's that? Pipulate window. Pipulate it. It's going to take a little getting a hang of getting used to the new user interface for Pipulate. And there you have it, foo. This has been a very successful, if not a little bit long video, but I wanted to get one in today, and it's a great example of where a little bit of like infrastructure stuff or architecture stuff can save you tremendous amounts of time in the future, because now instead of constructing these really long paths like this to reach in and get a number that you know is the only time the word count is used as a key in that dictionary object, you can just use this much smaller reference and just yank it right out of the JSON. Or in this case, a Python dictionary, which when you contain your objects in Python to just nested dictionaries, it is completely compatible with JSON. Anything that comes back as JSON and is converted to Python is going to work in this function. So thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you again soon. And don't forget to subscribe, and Happy New Year. Yay!